If you like driving above all else and to the exclusion of all other considerations, you have to have one of these.
You would not be wrong if you said that Top Gear is the most successful car show of all time. The show is so successful that it sometimes occupies the first 2 spots on every list of the most popular car shows of all time, with the UK version and US version of the show taking number 1 and 2 spots respectively. Part of the reason why Top Gear is considered one of the best car shows of all time is its incredible longevity. The show, as we know it now, restarted in 2002, and today it has done over 200 episodes and 31 seasons. The show has also had 12 different hosts, which is quite incredible since most car shows tend to have one host or a couple of hosts for their entire lifetime. But that's the reason why Top Gear is Top Gear, right? Right now, the show's 3 hosts, or cast members if you would prefer that term, are Patty McGuinness, Andrew Flintoff, and Chris Harris. That means that around 9 hosts have come and gone from the show. In this video, we'll be looking at the lives of these hosts and we'll be figuring out where they are now and what they've been up to. And of course, we'll start with the most important host of them all, Jeremy Clarkson. The story of Top Gear cannot be told without talking about the show's most charismatic host, Jeremy Clarkson. Before Top Gear restarted again in 2002, Jeremy hosted the original series back in 1988. When the show started again in 2002, he returned to host it and remained a host until 2015 when he finally left. When he started hosting the show again in 2002, Top Gear was an uncertain experiment by the BBC that was certainly not guaranteed worldwide success. The world where the first original series had gained critical acclaim had changed significantly. In fact, by the time the first series got cancelled in 2001, viewership had reduced significantly and people simply no longer cared about the show. The point is, the early 2000s was a new era of entertainment television, and most people were not sure that Top Gear would hack it. That was a situation that Clarkson walked into, and by the time he left in 2015, he changed it completely. Top Gear was now a massive success and had millions of viewers tuning in every week to see Jeremy talk about cars and occasionally blow stuff up. So, what is Jeremy doing right now? The only proper answer to that question is a lot. He's still on TV and has helped Amazon Prime establish the Grand Tour, a reality TV show that is an awful like Top Gear. While the Grand Tour may not become quite as popular as Top Gear, the show itself has drawn very favorable ratings and positive reviews from critics. Aside from that, Clarkson also has a job with ITV, where he presents the show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. He has also recently started hosting his talk show, which is aptly named Clarkson. While the world of television is where Clarkson made his name, he started as a local journalist for a few local papers. In any case, it appears that Clarkson has now returned to his first love, which is writing. Today, you can find Clarkson's name in many opinion columns in papers like The Sun and The Sunday Times. It doesn't look like life has been half bad for Clarkson, does it? James May. Like Jeremy Clarkson, May was also one of the hosts of the previous Top Gear series. While he joined that show a bit later and only stayed for 3 years, he had a longer stay with the new Top Gear series. He was part of the dynamic trio that put the new series together, and he only left the show back in 2015. While on Top Gear, May had a reputation of being the level-headed presenter and was usually the voice of reason whenever Clarkson had crazy ideas. Today, May is still part of the dynamic trio that built the second Top Gear series. The only difference now is that the trio, which includes Jeremy Clarkson and Richard Hammond, are presenting the Grand Tour on Amazon right now. Aside from working on the Grand Tour, May has also starred in loads of TV programs like Oz and James' Drink to Britain, James May's Top Toys, and James May, Oh Cook. Richard Hammond. Richard Hammond did not have previous presenting experience on Top Gear before joining the revamped version of the show. However, despite not having that experience, Hammond was a fan favorite and was an instant hit with the fans. They simply adored him and even gave him an affectionate nickname. He was called the Hamster because of his relatively small stature, and he did not help himself when he ate cardboard on the show, which some say is what a hamster would do. Like Clarkson and May, Hammond left Top Gear in 2015 and went on to present the Grand Tour with Clarkson and May. Right now, Hammond is working on a new show with Disney Plus about the restoration of old cars. The show is set to be called Richard Hammond's Workshop. Matt LeBlanc. Unlike many of the presenters that have been on Top Gear is not Matt LeBlanc's most popular show. Before presenting Top Gear, Matt had starred in the critically acclaimed sitcom Friends. Matt hosted the show from 2016 to 2019 alongside Rory Reed, a highly respected motoring journalist who was currently excelling at presenting shows. While Matt's life before Top Gear was extremely exciting, his life after Top Gear has not been full of a lot of excitement. Before joining Top Gear, he had featured in a lot of popular, if not critically acclaimed sitcoms. He'd also won an Emmy Award for his role as Joey in Friends. Since he left Top Gear in 2019 though, Leblanc has been focused on his acting career, notably playing the lead role in the cancelled CBS sitcom Man with a Plan. Chris Evans. Chris Evans is probably one of the richest presenters ever, and is certainly the richest presenter to host Top Gear. Evans, strangely enough, made the bulk of his fortune through entertainment. In 2000, for example, he was Britain's highest paid entertainer, but he didn't get his fortune from presenting shows. Instead, he owned a pretty successful media company that he eventually sold for north of £200 million. That year, he took home around £35 million from the deal. In 2017, he was also Britain's highest paid presenter, taking home around £2.5 million. This time, the income was from hosting shows alone. In 2016, Evans signed a 3-year contract with the BBC to host Top Gear. However, he left after only one series. The reason was that Evans did not get on well with his co-host. Apparently, Evans was fond of behaving inappropriately on set, and the rest of the group didn't like that at all. Evans has found life after Top Gear to be pretty sweet. He has gone on to present The One Show, which is his own very successful breakfast show, and has been working with Virgin Radio in the UK since 2018. Rory Reed. When Rory Reed started at Top Gear, he was a relatively unknown presenter. Unlike the rest of his co-hosts, he didn't have a great pedigree and was picked from an audition pool of 1,500 applicants. After leaving Top Gear, Reed has now found more working opportunities. For example, he now has a job as director of YouTube content at AutoTrader. He also worked as a presenter on the channel. Aside from that, Reed also presents 5th Gear Recharge on Discovery Plus and Quest. It would be somewhat improper to talk about Top Gear's former host without talking about the first 2 hosts that brought the idea of Top Gear to television in the first place. Before Top Gear was revamped in 2002, the original series was a staple of British television and had lasted for almost 25 years. When the series started, it was hosted by the dynamic duo of Angela Rippon and Tom Collin. Without both of them, we're not quite sure that Top Gear would have been possible. After the first 2 series of Top Gear, Angela left the show to have a long and respectable career in entertainment. She presented the hit show Come Dancing, which eventually led to the current sensation Strictly Come Dancing. She also worked on shows like Holiday Hit Squad, Amazing Grace, and Rip Off Britain. Sadly, her partner on the show, the incredible Tom Collin, is now dead. He died in 2015, aged 84, and is remembered for being a vital reason why Top Gear even exists. He and Derek Smith, who was the show's creator, were the brains behind the first series of the show and were the ones who made the show relevant enough to get promoted to a national TV network. Sadly, Tom left Top Gear after just the first series and did not present anything nearly as relevant until he died. Perhaps if he had stayed with the show, he might have had a more colorful career.